Vayu, the wind under me. "You can't afford me," said the lawyer with the Tiffany bracelet, her smile restrained by perfect teeth. I rushed out of her office before the tears fell. There I was, a classically trained Indian dancer with 2 small children, but no money to live on. In the parking garage of thick concrete, I rested my cheek against it. And I remembered then Vayu, the wind god. My mother had told me stories of Hanuman, the son of Vayu. He would fly wherever he was needed. And I remember being so taken with those stories of heroism that I grabbed some celery and brandished it on top of a chair, imagining I too was Hanuman, the monkey god who withstood all challenges, leapt across an entire ocean to find the Princess Sita and bring her safely. We were living in Kenya at the time, but to me, Hanuman became my Kenyan best friend. "Hanuman could do anything for love, don't you know?" my mother would tell me. Could I do what I needed to do for love now? My world had thickened and reduced like a pot of curry to 2 axioms. 1, get a divorce, and 2, protect my children. 5 months ago, in spite of well-meaning family friends telling me to just adjust, I knew that this year after year of sorrow had to stop. "Why do you need a divorce?" my husband asked. The words clotted in my throat, and then finally I had the courage to push them out and explain, "Because I love to dance, and you don't want me to. Because I need to be happy, and you don't want me to be happy. Because you wish to control me, and I must be free." The words spilled out like hard pebbles, and I wanted to gather them back, to spare him. My husband refused. He watched my bedroom door and monitored my phone calls. I had moved into a small room, and I felt defeated, a failure. Good Indian girls, they got married, they stayed married. Without any family support, no job, and increasingly ill, I did what I remember my Nani used to do, my Indian grandmother. When the sun came up, she would, instead of looking at the sky and saying, "Oh, another day," to wait on 6 family members, would smile and sing songs about Hanuman. In that little room, I remembered those hymns my Nani would cheerfully sing while she rolled out chapati after chapati. The flatbread that is so delicious in her cooking. I began to ask myself, how did she do it? Was it in a power beyond what I could see, beyond what she could see? A Christian friend asked me, "Anila, have you ever read the Bible?" I said to her, "I'll read any sacred book. There is one God, many paths. Please share it." So I opened up the Bible, and one night I looked at the Gospel of Matthew. There was a woman being stoned, but Jesus saved her. He drew a line in the sand. My hand was on the quilt as I read how the mob receded. I found myself tracing a line on the blanket. My Naniji would tell me about Hanuman. "Through faith, my dear child, he did all things necessary, even winning a battle when he was outnumbered. I could see, if I closed my eyes, that memory holding my Nani's hand as we walked to the Hanuman temple. And I remember the puja, the ritual of prayer. The camphor was thick in the air, the incense burning, the priest chanting Sanskrit, like rolling out beautiful sweets. My Nani afterwards patted my head and said, "Anila, don't forget, you have the light that will never be taken." I thought to myself, yes, I must have that. Don't all of God's children have that light? All this creation, even a monkey, even a little animal, all creatures have that light. That hot day when we walked back home, I saw my Nani, for the first time, is truly beautiful, wearing her white sari and a beautiful red bindi, the center of her forehead. A week away from the court trial, and suddenly my faith evaporated. What was I going to do? I had been subsisting on songs of Hanuman and the script of the Bible. But now, could I be sustained? In court, I would be challenged. I would lose the children. I would never see them again. The thoughts drove a stake in my heart. One night, I went into my room, and that night I didn't sleep. I prayed and prayed. Please, God, somewhere, anywhere, listen to me. Talk to me. Give me a message of hope. Late in the night, I finally found that my tears subsided and a thick molasses of peace had been poured over the crown of my head and flowed through me. And then, to my surprise, a panorama of images, almost like a video camera, had been run in front of me. First, I saw, brilliantly lit, the kitchen downstairs, and then another image of my husband entering, and then the third, him sitting down peacefully and offering a settlement instead of a trial. I went to sleep. I was exhausted, but also I felt some measure of trust. 2 days before the court trial, I was in the kitchen cooking something, and my husband walked in. Instead of anger, he had a face of calm. He had in his hand a manila envelope and said, "Anila, let us have a settlement." In that moment, I was so stunned and so happy. True, I had no alimony, no house, it would be sold, no job. My health was still not good, but I felt rich. I had the riches of faith. I knew I had been heard. I knew I had been saved. We all had been saved. Like a sweet under my tongue, I knew there is a bigger love for me than even I imagined. Today, when things are still difficult, I remember that moment when I knew I was a woman who had a mustard seed, the smallest spice, infinitesimally small. I had seen a vision come true. I had walked with Hanuman, hand in hand with my grandmother, with my mother. I knew I was leaning on the sustaining infinite, and though I was a dancer who could not yet dance, I was being pulled to the stars.